Hi, I'm Kath. No, Cooper. And today it's hot. Um, so sorry if you're watching this in the Northern Hemisphere, but down here it is hot today. And so welcome to my RSD story part 4. In the previous installment I told you a little bit about what RSD actually is and yes darling, you did sing a song. Gilbert gets a little bit excited sometimes, and I let him be here today because, frankly, I just like the company. So, now that you understand a little bit about what reflex sympathetic dystrophy means, I'm going to get back to my story. And I promised you it was going to get worse, and it did get worse indeed. I had been diagnosed and on medication for just probably about 11 months when things got worse. I was working in administration and my office was just up the road from where I live, which was particularly handy as getting around, not the easiest thing to do with RSD. So I was using crutches and it was only a few blocks and I could just get there on foot. That was fine. I only had RSD in my right foot and ankle. One day I was coming home from work and I just stepped forward with my left leg and I felt my hip pop. Um, this wasn't entirely unfamiliar to me. I had some knee problems when I was a teenager and had some problems kind of with the alignment of my legs because my feet were rolling over too much when I walked and it was throwing things out of whack and I needed orthotics. So I had some problems with my hips back then and my knees, and ever since then, whenever I sort of have sore knees or whatever, I just sort of left over and it'll go away and it'll be fine. So I usually get sore knees first and then a sore hip. So I had the sore knees, but I also am really kind of good at pretending that it's not happening. So I'll walk around on my sore knees thinking, I don't have sore knees. And then finding out when I got a really sore hip that, yes, Kath, you did have sore knees. Um, Goodbye. Just misbehaves sometimes. So it hurt a lot, and I went to the doctor, and he gave me a cortisone injection in my hip, and that hurt a lot. A lot. That hurt so much that by the time I got home, I could just lie on my bed gasping for air and with tears streaming out of my eyes that were just uncontrollable and yes, very, very painful. Um, so that was pretty horrible. It settled down after a couple of days. My hip didn't get any better. It stayed really sore, so I had to go and see a surgeon who did an MRI and found a labral tear in the lining in my hip. Um, so hurrah! Hip surgery! Woo! Just what you want when you have RSD is surgery. No, no, it's not. Surgery is really bad. Surgery could be the thing that caused your RSD in the first place. It wasn't with me on account of this was my first surgery, but it could have been, and may have been with you, and if it was, then um, you'll know how scary it is to need surgery when you already have RSD. Um, so I think this happened at the very end of January this year, 2008, and I went in the hospital on April 22nd, so it was a few months later. During that time, I could not do anything. I had to be reclining at all times. Um, my hip pain was even worse than my right foot, so I'd have to adjust which leg I could crutch on, and even then I could only kind of get around the house and not go very fast. So those were really fun few months. I ended up getting a wheelchair because it was just, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even go shopping or, anything that involved walking more than 20 meters, I couldn't do. Um, so, yes, very boring, very frustrating, especially after I'd already spent more than 12 months not able to walk properly anyway. I mean, I was already limping, I was already in pain all of the time, and then all of a sudden I was in twice as much pain. The pain in my hip caused pain all the way down my leg, all the way up through my lower back, and yeah, bad stuff. So, my surgeon was really lovely, and um, he kind of took extra care of the foot that had RSD um, when he was operating on my hip, and yeah, so he was aware of everything, and um, the surgery was actually quite stressful. I woke up from the anaesthetic in hysterics, like, just, "Whoa, what's happening? Ah, where am I? What's going on? What did you do? What happened?" Because obviously in any sort of surgery, you're kind of worried that they're going to go in and find something that they just might not be able to fix. So I wasn't really sure what happened, and then after my surgery, it turned out that no one was going to come and tell me. I was told by the nurse that the doctor will come see me later, and then later happened and no visit. So I was thoroughly pissed off, thoroughly pissed off. I then couldn't get to sleep at all that night. I called the nurse, and she so helpfully told me that, "Oh, well, if you were going to have trouble sleeping, we could have given you something, but we had to give it to you earlier." I'm like, well, that's great, nurse. Thanks for telling me that. I usually try to go to sleep before I take drugs for it. So if if I knew that I wasn't, oh well, just whatever. Stupid nurse. I didn't like it. Um, so I ended up in a lot of pain overnight. So much pain, in fact, that the second time I wasn't even able to call the nurse. I barely even remember what was going on, just that I just remember another nurse coming in because she'd been walking past and she'd heard me, you know, crying and just in pain and wondering what was going on. So yes, rough night, not much sleep. Pain medication did help, thank God, but I could not move at all. Could not move at all. Was just packed in pillows. Turns out that even the next morning, I wasn't going to be told what happened in the surgery. A nurse did come and tell me that something had been removed. And I'm like, "What? You've removed something? Well, what have you removed? And what does that mean? And am I going to grow it back? And what's going to happen to me?" And she wasn't really able to tell me that. Only that I would find out in my appointment with the surgeon a week from then. So I had to spend a week like that. Luckily, I was pretty doped up for the pain, but not much fun waiting a week just to find out what happened in the surgery. So bad doctor. You were nice, but you were bad in that kind of way. Um, so that's about enough for today. That is my hip surgery story. So around this time, I am using a wheelchair to get around, and I'm really not capable of much more than sitting on my couch watching DVDs. Um, so, oh, oh. Until next time, I wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas. And a Happy New Year. Wishing you pain-free days and lots of distractions. I'll be back soon to tell you about my next drama because I am not even close to being through the joints yet. Bye!